Lord. Story this morning. A man was sitting one morning at his desk in his office, and his partner came rushing into the office totally breathless. And he said, "You'll never know what happened to me." He said, I went into the deli where I go every morning to get an egg sandwich. And when I came out, there was a police car with a siren blaring and its lights on, chasing another car down the street. The police car rammed the other car, and suddenly they all got out, and bullets were flying everywhere, whizzing over my head, and other cars crashed and mounted the sidewalk, and everybody was running for cover. He says, "I don't know how I escaped, but I'm lucky. I'm lucky to be alive." And the man sitting at his desk paused for a moment, and then he said, "So, you have an egg sandwich every morning?" He missed the whole point. Now, we're going to apply that to ourselves this morning, because very often we come and we miss the whole point. And I think maybe a lot of homilies today would be about the calling of the apostles. So we're going to look at it in a slightly, hopefully, different way this morning. Peter was a fisherman. That was his trade. And so we presume Peter and his partner had a good knowledge of fishing. And then Jesus comes along. Now, he doesn't talk to Peter and the people with him in, you might say, synagogue language or theological language or church language, but Jesus gets into their world, the world of a fisherman. And he says to Peter, "Have you caught anything?" And Peter says, "No, it's been a bad night. It's one of those nights when you haven't caught anything." So Jesus says, "Well, go out again and cast into the deep. Go out into the deep and cast your nets." Now, Peter looks at Jesus and thinks, what does he know about fishing? And so Peter says, "But, we've been out there all night and haven't caught anything." But he said, "At your command." "Oh, okay, I'll go and do it." Now, I'd love to know what tone of voice Peter used, when he said that to the Lord. I'm sure it was kind of, well, if you really insist, I will kind of thing. So he went out into the deep, and what happened? They caught so many fish that they had to get help. Now, two things there Peter had to do, and this is where we come in. The two important things that come through in the gospel this morning for me is two things: risk and trust. Risk and trust. And that's where it comes right down to us and also to me, and very much to me. Because when I'm up here standing before you, I've got to be absolutely honest and truthful. So I'm not just talking to you, but I'm also very much talking to myself. Risk and trust. Risk and trust. And where are we in that? I want to ask you a question, and I will ask myself that question, and I will answer it in a couple of minutes. Can I say from my heart, truthfully and honestly, Jesus, I trust in you? Can you? Can I? We live in a culture of security. We're told you must try and build your security in life. Well, that's okay when you're a bit younger and when you're in the first part of life. A lot of people have commitments. You may be in the process of rearing a family, and so you work, and hopefully, if you're wise, you save something for the rainy day, and you probably have a mortgage to pay on your home, and so you have a lot of commitments. But at the same time, you got to have if you're really a follower of Jesus and a true Christian, you got to have this faith and this trust. So that means you got to take risks in life. If you never take a risk in life, you never really live. Now, if you're going to be cautious all your life and afraid even to dip your little toe in the water, well, that's not really living. And a lot of people are like that. They're always, cautious and keeping back. And you ask them to do something, and the answer is, "Oh, I'd be scared, or I'd be afraid, or I couldn't do that." Not willing to take a chance. That's a bad way in life. Life involves a certain amount of risk. What about trust? Well, you got to build up trust in your life. There are people you trust in. Hopefully, you trust in your parents. You trust in your husband or wife. You trust maybe in some very good, dependable friends. What about trusting in God? Well, we'll move on a little bit through life, and I'm at a stage in life now where this whole question becomes more and more part of my everyday living, and I got to ask myself every day. Bring it down to more realistic, the way we live. If you're pushing on 70 or 80 and you're still, your happiness still depends on whether the stock market goes up and down, well, where are you? Are you saying you're going to live forever? If you have enough money to live and to meet your commitments at 70 or 80, why would you want more? Why? Huh? Where's your trust in God? Where's your trust in God? And many people are like that. I always feel very sad when I meet somebody, an older person, and they're still worried about money. Money. Money, it's all right. But if you have what you need, why would you want more? Why would you want more? Now apply that to yourself. Are you still at that stage in your life that you're still worried about security? For God's sake, how long do you think you're going to live for? Be realistic. Be honest. Be realistic. You're not going to live forever. Or are you going to be the exception that you're going to make 200? You know the first thing they ask in Ireland when somebody dies, and this is the fact, I've heard it done many times, not when did he die or what did he die from, but how much did he leave? And you know the truthful answer to that? The truthful answer to that is one word: nothing. He was taken away from it. He was taken away from it. Sad, isn't it? that we think like that. And have you ever experienced, I'm sure you have, when somebody dies, the family, and I've seen it many times, for use of a better phrase, they're in there like vultures. Huh? More interested in what can they get. You know the best way to die? You know the best way to die? The best way to die is owing thousands of dollars on your credit card. It really is. You'll be happy. You will. You'll be very happy. Honestly. So now we go back. We go back now to that question, and I want you to really think about it. If you're still worried about security and what you have and so on, can you honestly say, Jesus, I trust in you? Now, I said I'd answer the question. Can I honestly say, at my age, 75, Jesus, I trust in you? Well, I feel many a time I can't. No, not that I can't, but I don't. So I'm working on that very hard. But I still cling onto things in this world as if they're going to provide some kind of security. So, like Peter this morning, he had to take a risk and make an absolute trust in Jesus, an act of trust in Jesus. Can I say that I'm yet at that stage? So I have to remember what Peter said to Jesus. I am a sinful man. I am a sinful person. I am very, and I think this is important for you, I am very aware that I haven't got there yet. But that's important, that I am aware. And so the more aware I become of that lacking of trust, the more I pray and ask Jesus to give it to me, ask God to give it to me. He will ultimately, hopefully, but I'm not there yet. But maybe I don't want to be there yet. I think maybe I'd rather still have to depend on the Lord to ultimately give me that absolute trust. Where are you in that regard? How far along the line are you?